Wayne and I am the Lone Headbanger. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's episode, which is going to be about self-esteem in several respects. So we'll get on to that in a moment or two, but the first thing I really want to do is give a big thank you and a massive shout out to the people who have watched my previous video about mental health and music, and also anyone who subscribed as well. It means the absolute world to me. I'm really new at this, obviously. I'm still tinkering with a lot of the stuff. I'm learning as I go along, but the support of you guys really helps. I've often said as well that if one person gets something out of these videos, then they are worth doing, and I enjoy doing them as well. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching them, so if I enjoy making them, you enjoy watching them. That's a win-win, and we all need a bit more of that in the world. So thanks ever so much, I really appreciate it. So this week we are going to focus on self-esteem. So a bit about me with my self-esteem first. I've always struggled with it ever since I was little. My home life when I was little wasn't the best. Poor family, one overbearing parent who wouldn't let me be a child. They wouldn't let me play, be loud. It felt so restrictive, and it always felt like I was walking on eggshells kind of thing when I was little, and obviously that brings up a sense of heightened anxiety. And you don't think anything's wrong with it at the time, but looking back there were issues. And then when I went to primary school, the people I made friends with who were nice enough in their own way, but I always felt inferior and I always felt pushed down. Not so much bullied but by them, but pushed down and made to feel small. And that really impacted on me, and I never received the support that I needed, which gradually kind of stabilised, but I was always the butt of jokes. And even into secondary school I felt like I was still, when I made new friends, I was still the bottom of the pack. I was always the butt of the jokes, and I just thought that's the way things were. I never thought anything of it, but it really in later life it has taken quite a toll on me. I think you could look at it as bullying, I suppose, and it might have been more intentional because when obviously the teenage years hit, it becomes a little bit more cutthroat. But obviously I didn't realise at the time that it was particularly bullying. I just thought maybe I was being oversensitive. Turns out that wasn't the case, but that's that. It's something I'm working through with my therapist at the moment, so we'll see how that goes. Something else I was doing at school as well is I had a religion that I was following, and that was helping a little bit, but it didn't feel right, if you know what I mean. And the social circles that I was hanging around with, the interest that they had didn't feel right. It didn't match what I was feeling. It just felt like I was going through the motions and I was imitating what they were doing, not being myself, because that's how I thought things were supposed to be. And as I said, the religion was just kind of giving me some kind of direction. It took a long time for my true personality to develop. I believe it started around age 17, 18ish, when I really started to get into heavy metal music. I've always been into rock, but at that age, when I was 16, 17, 18ish, I had friends who were listening to metal bands like System of a Down and Fear Factory, and once I started discovering bands like that and the messages that they gave me, it kind of pushed the religion to one side and gave me a different outlook on life and the struggles within it. It was like I was finally hearing something that I could relate to, and I think that really helped my personality come to the fore, because it felt like I had support from a source, even if it was just songs. I still struggle with my self-esteem now. It's never been great, even when I've been on top of the world kind of thing. It doesn't tend to last long. It tends to knock me back down again. I'm always afraid of not being good enough in any chosen area, or being a failure and not being able to do things. And with me, that leads to frustration and even some anger sometimes. not being able to do things that I want to, that I feel like I should be capable of doing and I can't, and that can really knock me about, and usually the anger is followed by a bout of deep depression. So it is something that I do struggle with. It also brings up a fear of not wanting to do new things, because obviously you feel like you're going to fail. Now, fear is going to be the subject of next week's video, so I'm not going to pry into that too much now, but it does have an impact on your self-esteem. Now, trying to put a positive side as well as a negative. My advice to anyone who is struggling with self-esteem issues would be, as hard as it is, as difficult as it is, be you. Be the you that you want to be. Find who you want to be and embrace it. I always seem to refer back to Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones, the quote where he said, where he's being taken the mick out of for being a dwarf, and he says, use it as armour. If someone insults you for doing it, use it as armour, and then it can't be used as a weapon against you. And I think that is a very, very poignant statement, because if you own that and you're proud of it, then it's not a weapon. It's almost a compliment. If you've got blue hair and someone comes and says, "You've got blue hair," and you go, "Yeah, thank you, I do. Do you like it?" That's not an insult then, because you have got blue hair, and you've got blue hair because you wanted it. So I believe that that's the right attitude to go at it. Be yourself, essentially, and that is a long and short. Now, we're all different, and we all show it in different ways. Some people, as I said, like blue hair and facial piercings. Some people just like wear band t-shirts, whatever. Everyone's different in the way they display themselves. Some more extreme than others. I mean, have you ever seen me on a night out? Disturbing, right? But that is how I choose to express myself, and I always feel comfortable wearing what I do when I go out. It's gotten me a couple of reputations, not necessarily bad ones, but it does make people laugh, and it's like, well, that's fine. If they get some enjoyment out of it, that's fine. I'm happy as well. Everyone wins. What I'd say as well is, I've just talked about appearance, and it's the same with your behaviour as well. Do what makes you happy. With your hobbies, do what makes you happy. If people have a problem with what you're doing or what you look like, that's their problem, not yours. What will eventually happen is, if you keep being you and dressing the way you want to dress and behaving the way you want to behave, then you will attract similar-minded people. And if you're a good person, then they will stay with you. And I don't know about you guys, but I suffered with a lot of feeling alone a lot. But I did find that with my image changes, my personality changes, I did attract like-minded people and actually gained some lifelong friends out of it. With regards to saying do what makes you happy, that doesn't mean go out and be a mass murderer because you want to go around killing people. That's not right. I'm not here to be your conscience. You know the difference between right and wrong, hopefully. Within look, your upbringing will have told you that. But what I am saying is, as I said, hobbies, music interests, those kind of things. Do what makes you happy. Be proud of who you are. You've chosen to be you, and the you that is. Be proud of it. You want to dress a particular way, own it. Be proud of it. If you want to listen to certain bands, music taste, own it. Be proud of it. Don't let anyone tell you that it's wrong. Just because you like something different doesn't mean that's a wrong thing. It's your life. It's your body. Do what makes you happy. As long as it's not negatively affecting anyone else, then it's all yours. No one could judge you for you except you, and that's the only judgment that matters. If you can take all that into account and be yourself, then I'm proud of you, and you should be too. I'm going to wrap it up there for fear of rambling. So thanks ever so much for watching this video. Obviously, chuck me a like and a subscribe if you feel that these are helping, and I will upload another one next week at some point. So with that, my name's Wayne, I am the Lone Headbanger. I'm wishing you good health, stay safe, I'll see you next week.